42 kilometers of unspoilt natural beauty. "220 of the world's finest trail runners. The Tsitsikama on the Garden Route, the Reto on the Otter Trail. This is the Grail of Trail.
First and foremost, the Otter Trail is a well-known trail throughout the world. It's booked out 365 days a year as a hiking trail. So the runners, to get the opportunity to run on one of the best coastlines on planet Earth, it is an obvious attraction for them. Very interesting decision that we took this year was to turn the whole Otter run around and have the Reto, Otter spelled backwards, starting in the west, finishing in the east. It's been, very interesting for the athletes, a completely different challenge running the other way.
Friday morning on race weekend at the 4th Otter African Trail Run. Registration for the continent's most iconic trail race.
First thing they do is they go into the registration area, and there they will be accredited. They will be given their race bib, their timing chip, their electronic timing chip, very important part of the race. Any kit that they may have ordered, the sponsor's complimentary shirt, the race shirt, any gear that the sponsors have provided. And then they move out of the registration area and straight into the equipment check. And that's where they've got to display the compulsory equipment. Tomorrow we operate on a weather alert level 1, which is the basic equipment, and they've got to go through the check of that. And then straight after that they go into the environmental check. Once they're done with the environmental check, they're free to do the prologue at any time between 10 and 5 o'clock today. They can run the 4-kilometer prologue course.
The prologue would in essence reflect the challenge of the Reto in mini form. It was also the place where the racers could secure a place in the coveted Abangeni group, a Xhosa word meaning challenger. This secures podium contenders a shot at a start amongst the top 24, and thus a shot at trail running immortality.
This year it's the Dacre prologue. It's more sustained than other prologue and slightly longer, perhaps not as varied. But the guys coming through, the feedback is that it's harder. This 4-kilometer course is taking them a bit longer than they thought it would.
The 4,000 meters was indeed a mini Reto, but go too fast and your legs are wasted for the big ask the next day. Too slow and you lose your chance of winning.
It was tough, eh? A lot tougher than we expected.
Oh, it's good, beautiful, tough, very tough.
The prologue was fantastic, eh? Really enjoyed it. Technical, lots of roots, rocks, little streams you cross, and actually I would say more technical than the Otter route in general.
A win for Britain's James McMullen, whose fast clocking meant that the Abangeni would include the real challengers. The consistent Bruce Arnett did not finish fast enough to start up front. The women's section and Nicolette Griffioen had a 27-second gap over Landi Grayling, while American trail legend Chrissy Mail ominously took 5th in a controlled run.
I love that kind of terrain, and because it's a time trial, you don't really know how you're doing against other people, and just enjoyed it.
The route of the prologue was fantastic. It was tough, just like the trail. It was a true portrayal of the route I'm expecting tomorrow. And it was fast, it was hard.
For me, I'm not a great prologuer. I like the longer stuff. I really like, I sort of only get into it after about 4Ks. So yeah, it's always a hard long buster for me, and I'm looking forward to more being out there on the real thing.
With less than 12 hours to go, the traditional pasta dinner was preceded by the safety briefing, and weather alert level 1 was still applicable. It was all systems go for the 2012 Reto. The Otter Trail is one of the most coveted pieces of real estate on our globe. How do you get to run on it? Only one way. You enter the Reto. At the start, the jittery nerves were jangling. It's a big ask. 1 foot wrong, and it's all over.
Mind into a different place, and hopefully it's just going to be fun.
This is really exciting, it's fun, it's different. You get to see different parts of the country that you wouldn't ordinarily see. So it's a great weekend away.
I've got butterflies the size of ostriches, but it's a little bit chilly this morning, but feeling good. This is it. It's been a long time coming, so very excited.
You know, at the end of the day, how hard can it be? Run faster than everyone else. It's pretty simple, actually.
Adrenaline's pumping and a little bit excited. It's been a long build up to this race, so really glad that this day is actually finally arrived.
For the top 24 men, the Abangeni group, a fast start was a must. But this is the conundrum of long-distance trail running. Start too fast, and you pay the price later. Start too slow, and you're out of it before it's begun. The Ginger Ninja AJ Carlitz and Mike Beetle Bailey started off at a blistering pace. McMullen was also right there, not to mention 2009 winner Ian Don Washam. The top women were led off the line by Cape Town's Buzi Matuwani, setting the pace, but the top women were all right there, not wanting to give an early inch.
We've just left the start now at Nature's Valley. We're driving up the beautiful road to the top. The runners are out there. Field of 200 of the top runners in South Africa, including 24 absolute elite runners, world-class runners. They set off at a pace along the beach.
And that beach led them to what is traditionally an overnight stop for the walkers who come from all over the globe to hike this iconic trail. For the top athletes, this landmark was coming up a lot faster, in fact, at an astounding pace. Bailey, a Reto rookie and a 30-minute 10K runner, was leaving Carlitz. At checkpoint 1 at Andre's parking just above the hut, Bailey was enjoying a 70-second lead. Carlitz, who had been setting course records left, right and centre, was also right there. The internationals were holding their own, confirming that the South African trail runners would not have it all their own way. Kane Riley, William Robinson and Malachi Msize were just ahead of KwaZulu-Natal's Don Washam. Ultra specialist Frenchman Sebastian Chanot was in 13th, while triathlon supremo Claude Ekstein, running in his first trail race, was right up there. After their frenetic start, the women had settled into a rhythm, and the USA's Chrissy Mail, a trail running legend, was setting the pace, with Lundi Grayling keeping contact, but only just. The rest of the women were closely bunched together. After the first 6Ks at checkpoint 1, Bailey, Carlitz and McMullen, but it was early days. Don Washam back in 8th, more than 4 minutes back. Was that giving away too much? The Otter Trail opened in 1968. It's a world-renowned hiking trail and is limited to 12 hikers per group who take 5 days to complete the stunning walk. It's so popular that it's booked out years in advance. It's one of our continent's greatest experiences, but for the men and women up front, the scenery was of no consequence. Only victory was. Mail, the youngest woman ever to complete the Grand Slam of American trail running, was pulling away from Grayling, but only just. Next, the Reto's first big challenge, the swim at Bloukrans. The Grail of Trail continues.
Bye.